Hi there, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Doing a little nighttime video here. I'm not entirely sure how this will go. I have so many thoughts. There's so many things going on, and so many things being exposed for what they really are. It is said that Winston Churchill said that Americans will always do the right thing after they have exhausted all other possibilities. I'm getting to the point where I no longer believe that. I don't think that we will do the right thing. COVID 19 pandemic, what of course should be done is a massive amount of helicopter money being distributed out to not the one percenters, not the 0.1 percenters, but the 50% below that, or the 99% below that. What we need to do in this situation is to put massive amount of money into the hands of the people that will spend it immediately. And what we also need to do is that we need to make sure that that money is spent on consumption. And the way that we make sure that that money is spent on consumption is that we have to halt all mortgage payments, all rent payments. I would go further, but certainly all utility bills and internet bills, and have the money that is given from the government and put into people's hands the opportunity to go directly into retail stores and into consumption of goods and services. That's of course not going to be done. What also needs to happen is, of course, that we immediately should expand Medicare for all. What Bernie Sanders, of course, have been advocating for forever. And that's not going to happen either. What is sad to see in this situation is that Democrats, I won't even say it's sad, let me take that back. It's not sad, it's revealing to see that Democrats, not Republicans, are the hindrance to this. UBI was, I mean, it wasn't Andrew Yang. It's been around for a long time, but it is the only thing that will save this country from an economic depression. It is estimated that 25 million Californians will get the virus. If we had acted like South Korea or China, we could probably keep that death rate at about a 1%, 1.5%. We're not acting that way, and the death rate will be much larger. And that's just for California. That rugged individualism that has been sold to Americans for so long, the John Wayne, if you even know who he is, uh, that idea is going to come back to hurt us all tremendously. Because from here on out, it's not about individualism, it's about collectivism. It is about what we can do together. And nobody is stepping up to deal with that. I mean, how embarrassing is it that the presumptive nominee, Joe Biden's idea or suggestions, well, there is none. You should go read his website. It is a disaster. Bernie Sanders' suggestion, which is $2,000 a month, I believe, until it ends, and taking care of the medical expenses as of now, is even less than what first came out of Mnuchin, of all people, and Donald Trump. It is embarrassing at this point that Democrats, Bernie Sanders is too fearful and Joe Biden is too senile to actually address this in a comprehensive way. And what is happening right now is that the Republicans are taking the left lane around Democrats. Now, I'm sure when you look at the fine print and when it actually comes out this time around, it might not look good. But it will look good enough to make sure that Joe Biden will not become our next president. Nobody's going to care about grabbing a pussy or any of the other stuff that he has said if, for once, he sticks with his populist instinct and makes sure that money is pumped directly into the hands of American citizens. Another worrisome thing that I'm seeing for Democrat is that, of course, what is being suggested right now is that with the bailout, that the government should get an equity stake in the corporations that they bail out. Well, I'm certainly not the deepest thinker in the world, but it seems to me that that is some backdoor fascism. It feels a little bit like Putin and the way that Russia is run. Now, I know, of course, that Russia came from the opposite side, right? That everything was owned by the government, and then the government sold it off, and then they said, hey, but if you want to buy this, remember who the real power is. This is the reverse. So, of course, that's confusing Americans, because if it doesn't look exactly the same, it's not the same, right? Sorry, it's frustrating. But I see Democrats, progressives, cheering this, oh yeah, fuck these fucking capitalists. Want government and corporations to be even more intertwined. I, of course, thought that the purpose was to get corporations out of government, not get us even tighter. Yes, there are examples around the world. I believe New Zealand or Ireland in the 2008 crisis took over an airline, nationalized it, sold back the stocks, but are making money. There are good examples, but that's just not the history of America. That's not how it goes in this country when we do those kind of things. It seems like backdoor to fascism, and I would be very weary of that connection. Now, I of course believe that you should not be able to buy back stocks if you receive any subsidies, but I am concerned about the present time and how close we are to fascism. And when I see the idea being pushed on the left, that of course makes me even more worried. Strange time we live in. I think our biggest or most important job right now is to make sure that corporations are held accountable, that people get the help that they need before corporations, but that we are very, very, very alert to what kind of laws are being passed right now. How are they trying to, this whole, the first Trump press conference with all the businesses next to him and try to stop the drop of the stock market, and it actually, happened for a second. It was a literal commercial for corporate America. That to me was not the first sign, but that was a very clear sign of the dangers of fascism and where we're at historically in America. Anyway, here I go again, thinking out loud. I truly hope that you and your family, your loved ones, and everybody gets through this okay. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of your neighbors. Stand up against the banks and the creditors. Nobody should lose their home, their house. Not because of this. But if we're not careful, we will lose a lot more than that. Take care. Be good. Be safe.